People start smoking for all kinds of reasons, like peer pressure or weight, but they continue to smoke to avoid the withdrawal symptoms they get when they don't. They get irritable, can't concentrate, and want something to take those symptoms away. They puff on a cigarette and the symptoms disappear. This is called the negative reinforcement of smoking. Smoking takes away the unpleasant or negative effects that come about when people don't smoke. This is an important idea to get across to people when they are quitting. An easy way to express the process of negative reinforcement is the analogy of the little green monster on the shoulder. Over many years of smoking, you have developed a little green monster on your shoulder. It gets hungry and wants nicotine. If you don't smoke for a while, it gets hungrier and starts screaming out, "Feed me! Feed me!" The way that smokers deal with it? Have a cigarette. You have a nice, relaxing puff and everything goes away. The monster is quiet and goes to sleep for a while. But within an hour or two, the monster is getting a little bit hungry again, shouting, "Feed me! Feed me!" And you have to go out and have another cigarette, just to shut the monster up. Nicotine is carried on cigarette smoke into the lungs where it enters the blood and travels to the brain. It takes about 30 seconds from taking a puff for the nicotine to reach the reward pathway in the brain. Our brains have a reward pathway because it's essential for our survival. There are certain things we must do, like eating and reproducing. Our brains reward us for doing these vital things with pleasurable sensations. Smoking is addictive because it contains nicotine, and nicotine exerts its addictive properties by hijacking this reward pathway. This reward pathway can be seen as a circuit. Having a puff flips the switch and the smoker gets their reward. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that the nerves in our bodies and brains use to communicate. To the brain, nicotine looks exactly like one of these neurotransmitters. Like a wolf in sheep's clothing, nicotine mimics these neurotransmitters and tricks the brain into triggering our reward pathway, and bingo! Nicotine binds to the switch part of the reward pathway on things called neural receptors. In response to the constant supply of nicotine, more receptors grow on the nerves over time. The growth of the new neural receptors is called neuroadaptation. Literally, the brain adapting to a change in brain chemistry. Over the first few days and weeks of not having a cigarette, the monster is going to be pretty upset. But the longer it goes without a single puff, the monster gets weaker and weaker until finally it falls asleep. But the little green monster is only asleep. It's not going anywhere. It's just having a snooze, ready to be woken up by a single puff of a cigarette. One puff, just one little puff, will light up the reward pathway and the monster will wake up hungry. Giving up smoking is not easy. The more people understand about what is happening in their body, the better they are able to cope with the symptoms of nicotine withdrawal and stay cigarette-free permanently.